Hey, what's up, guys? Gold Key. Actually, when I was out in Pittsburgh, I got a couple of comics. There's a comic store in Cranberry. It's actually cool in the back. They have a lot of the comics from the what I say is the sweet spot, right? The early '70s, the late '60s, '70s, early '80s. That the sweet spot of comics. And these are the first Gold Key comics I think I've ever bought or ever had. I think they made like classics or something, but I saw these Dagar the Invincible and Turok. Now, of course, everyone remembers Turok. He was a character they brought back in Valiant, right? Basically, Indian fighting dinosaurs, right? And Dagar is, of course, I had gone over the Glut. I forgot how to pronounce his name. It was basically a comic with the barbarian character Dagar, okay? The early 70s. So we'll look through Dagar real quick, of course. And some of the funny stuff here. Look at the patches, right? Embroidered patches. Look at this. You got all the hippie stuff. Peace. Actually, I am for peace. Believe it or not. I know it sounds contradiction, right? War is not healthy for children and other living things. But there's kind of like a hippie slant on it, which is I don't like. I like this. Caution, Budweiser powered. Oh, yeah, yeah. We know how that goes. Fucking lousy beer. Yeah. Yeah, and nobody wins that thing. So yeah. And ID. What is it? You got. Oh, anyways. So Dagar is basically a barbarian, but the art. Alfredo Acala, another Filipino artist. Okay. Now, in this episode, his woman has been kidnapped, along with the women of this village. Been kidnapped by these like living dead things. And of course, the people want to hire him, right? And he's like, "What are your women to me? They're your concerns." So he's kind of in the Conan mode where he's like, "Yo, I'm not goody two shoes," but then, can you bring my mother back too? So it's like, yeah, come on, man, what do you think I'm gonna do, right? But now it's funny. I mean, the art is amazing. Once again, going through this, the I keep saying the Filipino, and there's his girlfriend, right? Beautiful, dark hair. Um, the Filipino artists, particularly in my opinion, they combined. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. They combined the Spanish style, in particular, European style comics, with the manga style. Okay, I assume in the Philippines in the '70s, the '60s, they were able to get their hands on at least bootleg manga because I know they were all over Taiwan. Trust me. Um, and you just see the art there. It's like a perfect combination of the Japanese and the European style. Look at that. So at least that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Right? And once again, another style. You can tell the art is solid when if you took the color out of this, and just made it black and white, it would still look just as good. Now it's funny. There's something I noticed here too. I don't know if this was the art style or if this was Gold Key. Gold Key, particularly, it was a Western Publishing Company. When I had read that issue that had Don Glut being interviewed, he had mentioned that they sort of did things different than a lot of other comic companies. They really try to treat the workers, let's say, now that sounds. Yeah, they try to treat their workers really good, and they can make a living, well, even if they didn't really credit them. You know, interesting. And one thing I noticed is a lot of times the panels, and you're gonna see that in this too. Sometimes you have regular panels where you have the lines, and other times you don't have any borders, or you have something like this where it looked like there was a border and they took it out. I don't know what the layout. I don't think the artist drew it like this, but I could be wrong. The fact that you see it in this with a different artist from a comic that's about man 8 years before this one, it's similar. It must have been their house style. Remember Marvel had the house style. Right? Anyway, really interesting comic. I like this. This was really worthwhile. Never seen the Gold Key stuff. At the end, he fights a demon. Right? It looks like the demon from was it Curse of the Demon, that movie? Yeah, really cool. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, very, satisfying. You got more of the patches, man. These things were big. Uh, Turok, Son of Stone. We know Turok, remember? Turok and his brother. I had gone over the comic way back when they brought Turok back. I don't know. I think I put it back up. I'm not sure. But this is the original comic here. It's funny. It's the similar thing here, right? And this one, there's no borders, right? In terms of the outlines, in terms of the composition and panels, there's no borders. It's like they took the lines out, and it looks more like I don't know. It looks like halfway between like a newspaper comic or whatever. So essentially, here they run into a giant spider, which is it looks like a reptile spider to me. But Turok and his brother are trying to find their way out of this world. And it's interesting too. Apparently, they have a nickname for the dinosaurs. They call them honkers. And what's interesting is that the only thing that works on their poison arrows are the only things that really work on the dinosaurs. I think Turok in the Valiant, if I remember back in the '90s, the Valiant comic, he had like freaking grenade broadheads and super like blades, and he had even like all kinds of explosives. Turok, these are Indians literally from the 20th century, and the only weapon that works against the dinosaurs are these special poison arrows, and of course they're not all poison arrows. So anyway, this is interesting. They had an interlude story here of Neanderthals. Okay, my ancestor of basically the whole idea of Neanderthal by himself was gonna have a rough time trying to survive. Right, the aurochs. Right? And he had to go back and get along with his fellows. Right. Yeah. My Neanderthal people. Anyway, don't make any Varg jokes. Okay, so we go back to this and with them trying to survive. Yeah, it's just interesting. The writing in this is very matter of fact. It's not really anything. It's just him and his brother going along, sort of giving exposition and running into different dangers. Right. Right. So, yeah, it was. This would be great for a kid. And guess what? In the evil America of the past, yeah, I know these were hippies writing this stuff probably, but look, you have a character. You have a non-white character is the hero. His brother. It's amazing. Oh, it's condescending racism. Are we done with all this? No, we're not done. So we're done with it. So. Yeah, it's a bit like a damn farce already. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this. This was interesting. So, I mean, this was better. I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I know Don Glut and Alfredo Alcala did this, right? Just because I read that magazine, I have no idea who wrote or drew this because they don't really tell you. So I guess that was the Gold Key Western Publishing thing to do. You know. Oh, that's interesting. Wait a minute. KK. Also, there's a different. What is this? Poughkeepsie. Oh, you ever been to Poughkeepsie? Anyway, uh, this was better. I mean, I like this one better than this, but this was still fun. This was great. Sweet spot of comics, right? Where the kid reading it is a kid that wants to be, a man, wants to be have adventures, be tough, and fight against overwhelming odds. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm gonna go over some. I have some other comics I got at that store from the same time period from different publishers, sort of dealing with that. You could say sword and sorcery, man, masculine man alone against the world of danger. I guess I'll go over some of those in between other things. All right, and I like the painted colors, man. Are really classy. I really think they're classy. So, all right, later.